Hello, everybody. We are in turbulent times with a lot of restrictions and uncertainty due to the coronavirus. And I just heard on the news that the European Union is closing the borders tomorrow at noon. So many of us are not going to be able to go back and see our families. And even if we just live a city away, sometimes we're not allowed to go to that city. So there's a lot of this feeling of community and closeness that we don't have anymore, or that right now is hard to engage in. And this new term, social distancing, where we actually get to be much more careful with everything we do. I went to the supermarket, I went to Trader Joe earlier today, and what I usually love with it is that they have all these little things you can try, and not because I like to try them so much, but it's this social interaction where somebody gives you something to eat. I just feel it's so human somehow, and it wasn't there in that place where they have where they're exposing the food. Usually there was just wipes. It was just like, okay, so now we are changing that humanness to wipes. And the same thing when you're leaving the store, they were selling that with wipes. And of course, it's good to be smart about these things, but for the humanness in us, it actually does change something. For me, I feel very lucky that so much of my work, so much of my interaction is online. So even when this is happening and I have to stay home, I still have a lot of interaction. I have love, I have understanding, I have inspiration, so many things in the networks that I'm engaging in. And I feel like that's why this crisis for me, it's still feeling like I have some kind of ground to stand on. And a lot of what I do and a lot of what I want to share can still be shared. And I feel like this is a kind of rewiring of how to do things. So even if the tribal in coming together, when speaking human design, for example, the tribal circuitry, the touch, and the coming together, like that's something so important. But there is something now where we are forced almost to reconsider what are our other ways that we can come together, what are our other ways that we can feel close, other ways where we can nurture each other, where we can be there for each other. And for me, it's so important to just, in the free groups on Facebook is not a perfect platform at all, but there is something where, every day I feel like I wake up in the morning and I find something that inspires me that I can share. So just that for me is like this little glimpse of that frequency that I want to share. And I wanted to share with you as well that we are having a membership with Unlock Your Design, and usually the way it's called the inner circle. So basically it is a community where we have weekly calls, where we work with the gene keys, we work with human design, we work with the I Ching a little bit, and we help you to understand your chart. There's other people in the community. We have live calls once a week at least. We also have one-to-one support, and usually the sign up to get a discounted price is several months. And what I feel right now with what's happening is that I want people to be able to sign up month per month, even for the discounted price, just because right now maybe this month is the month where we need the most support. And I wanted to just show you how it looks so that you can find it. So the website is Unlock Your Design, the same website as for the 64 doors. But instead of going into the 64 doors, you just scroll down and you will see courses and inner circle membership. So here is the inner circle membership, the Unlock Your Design membership. And here we are, it's diving into the gene key sequences, activation Venus and Pearl, and understanding how to activate the keys, meaningful collaborative discussion. So this is what I feel right now, like when we can come together and we can be like, okay, this is my life's work, and what's happening right now is, everything is storming in my life. Or there are things, it's not only because of the world stage and how it looks. There's so many things that also come from the inside, that right now it's so good to be able to have a sounding board. So, and we are there to teach each other. So it's not really a hierarchy. We're all there to share and teach each other. And practices that also have to do with embodiment, with the body, with energetics, not only the mind of understanding human design and gene keys, but really the embodiment of those transmissions into your life, into your body, and how the heart plays in. And that's right now I feel many of many of us can maybe close the heart or be a bit numb, because if I think about my mom who is in Sweden, who's not doing well, and I know that it's going to be complicated to see her, or at least go back and forth. If I go back, if I find a way to go back, then I'm not going to be able to come here. So these kinds of things, it's easy to just shut down, and that's what we want to keep our hearts open, because that's how we can navigate through those kinds of situations. And also, it, of course, the magnetism of these, especially in these times where probably the normal work we do, we might not be able to go to the office, we might work with events where people are not going to come anymore. So how can we unlock and unleash inner prosperity and find new ways of creating outer prosperity in those changing times? So these are just some of the things, some of the deeper work that we do in the group setting. So like I said, there is one call per week, except the week where we have a recorded teaching. That's going to be for maybe a sequence or a sphere in the Gene Keys, or something else that is connected to those systems. And there is the one-to-one support. There are extras. You also have discounts for the one-to-one sessions or the one-to-one processes that you can do with us. There are a lot of attunements that is perfect, like when you go to bed, instead of thinking about everything that's going wrong, to just listen to those attunements that take you in, and they are often connected to the hexagrams. So you can really just choose the ones that are activating the same things that you have in your chart. And there's the Facebook community that probably is going to go to another platform soon, but for now we are on Facebook, and this is where you always have interaction there with the other members. And also, we are 3 facilitators, so Ashley, me, and Melinda, we're also going to be there and answering questions. So what I was saying is that monthly subscription right now is $55 per month, and that gives you all these things included, and basically just a teaching video with I think there is a workbook as well, kind of costs that. But since for us, community is the most beautiful way of doing work, we kind of want to do it for the same price. And what you can see here is when we have a longer prescription, there is a price that is less expensive, and the same thing if you do a 12-month subscription. And what we want to do right now is actually to say you can join for $33, and it's like on auto payment, but you can, if you just want to join for 1 month, you can join for that month, and you get that price right now, because we are for the rest of this month, because we are in these turbulent times. And let me stop sharing. And it's just, for me, it's just so important that we find ways of coming together, where we find ways of raising the awareness, and through that increase in awareness, that's also where the frequency is getting higher. And that is something so needed, because when there is so much panic, when there's so much fear, when there's so much trying to me, let me buy everything in the shop so that I am safe, when there's so much that, it's, for me as a 4-6 especially, it's so important to come, and as a transpersonal, it's so important to come together, to create together, to raise the awareness and the frequency together. And that is going to spill over and become bigger and bigger. And that's what we want to engage in. So for me, I rather pay those 33, for joining a community than going to the store and buy a lot of things that probably I'm not even gonna eat, which happens, for hurricanes and these things too. We buy all these things, but then actually maybe the hurricane doesn't even come, and then we don't need them. So for me, this is a perfect moment to just actually reevaluate, where do I spend my money, where, how do I create community, how do I engage in friendships where there's the social distancing, there are all these things that are happening. How can I still keep my heart open? How can I still share my wisdom? How can I still have support from others? And there are ways. So this is my way of inviting us to do these things together. Thank you.